Could Yuji, with all of his current abilities, stop
Yeah.
the Shibuya incident?
Oh,
Here's the scenario.
when was
Yuji
this?
meets someone with a time
When was this? A month ago? That's not even that long
warp
ago.
curse technique,
Yeah, he
and gets
definitely
sent
is.
back in time to October 31st.
He definitely
Don't get too
is.
stuck on the mechanics of it. This is all just a hypothetical.
Uh-huh.
Yuji remembers everything that happened, and he has all of his current abilities.
Oh, he remembers everything that happened? Then he would go to every single moment, seconds before someone gets hurt, injured, or dead. He's stopping it. He's fast enough to reach it. Jinx, is that you down there? It is. He's fast enough to reach them now, like, without being like, oh no, I wasn't fast enough, like what happened with Nobara. No.
He's replacing himself here. Could he stop the
And if he kills and stops Mahito off rip, he already saves 2 people. Nanami, Nobara. Even though Nobara didn't die, obviously, would prevent her from getting injured. And then he would probably go to... honestly, he would probably... Even before then, he would... like... Yeah, hold on. I don't know.
mitigate the effects of it?
He would stop that one bitch ass dude with the hand sword, which would allow... I don't know. Maharaga might still come back, because the reason why he... the whole reason why... What's his name? Megumi spawned Maharaga wasn't because of fucking... Oops. Was it because of fucking Sukuna? It was because he was fighting the bitch ass dude with the hand sword. So let's see.
Or at least mitigate the effects.
Let's see how he goes
Take a look
about
at his
it.
current mindset, powers, and the fact that he actually knows everything that's about to happen.
Yeah,
This is part
if he
theory,
knows
part what
everything,
if, and part analysis of how he died.
he would go
By the way, this
crazy.
video will have manga spoilers, up to around chapter 262. Since Yuji and Sukuna were already big parts of Shibuya, how should we handle that though? Does he overwrite the old Yuji and Sukuna? We'll assume that this version of Yuji...
Yes. He just overwrites Sukuna. I would feel like that would make sense. Because it just... actually, no. Just make it where if he is time traveling, everything still happens, but he can prevent it by working with himself. Type shit.
The other one. But what about Sukuna? That's a little bit tougher to do. So for this hypothetical, we'll say he's part of Yuji again. This also means the Vow for Chain is active again. But everything else about Yuji is the same as him in the current arc. It's not logical, but for this hypothetical to work
it's not logical.
Yuji's powers, we either have to use this workaround or have 2 Yujis running around in Shibuya. Naturally, he wants to prevent as much chaos as possible. Even with his current level of power, that will still be tough. There's too many people around and too many variables.
Yeah.
And he can't be in multiple places at once.
But the thing is, he still has those heavy hitters like Todo, Nanami, the head of Senning. That motherfucker could do shit. He was handling himself to some sort of degree.
How would he handle this? We'll have him begin where he initially began. He entered Shibuya right where he did originally.
With what's her name?
To speedrun his original task. First, he'd fight Kogai, the Grasshopper Curse, which is really easy.
I was gonna say that motherfucker gonna one-shot him.
He needs to decide where he wants
and just
to
run.
Is it worth it to go straight for Gojo and save him?
No.
Well, first off, he doesn't know the specifics of the prison realm and how it was used here.
Yeah.
Because no one would have seen that to tell him. Even though he has knowledge of what's about to happen, he doesn't know exactly how it's going to go down. Plus, given the time frame of events, this would be really hard for him, especially without knowing the exact time. Even with Yuji basically having a head start here because this would be really hard for him, especially without knowing the exact times of everything.
Damn.
Going there to save Gojo wouldn't be a guaranteed win. It might be too risky.
No, I wouldn't go save Gojo. I would, if he were to go to save Gojo, I think a lot of things would still happen. If he went to go save Gojo, he would have ran into so many more heavy hitters all at once, which would essentially make it harder for him to like move around and go save people that are potentially gonna die because of other smaller people. Like Megumi, he was about to die, and so he spawned Maharaga. Nanami. Mahito wasn't with them, so Nanami and Nobara would be getting hit and possibly killed. Dagon was also not there when they were sealing um when they're sealing Gojo. So it would only be Geto, um Jogo, I think. I don't know who else was with him down there. It was definitely like 2 or
Faster than
3.
normal. Based on the time frames the art gave us, he would
I
be
wouldn't
cutting
go.
it really
I wouldn't
close.
go.
At absolute latest, Gojo got sealed around 9:26 p.m.
Uh-huh.
Yuji initially entered the curtain around 9:27 p.m. Even if he gets a few extra
Mhm.
minutes somehow,
He's not
there's
gonna-
no guarantee he gets there in time,
Uh-huh.
and he would have to face the others too.
Exactly.
And again, he doesn't
That's
know
what I was
exactly
thinking,
what's
but they
going
were
on
not
at
all
exactly
there.
what
I'm pretty
times.
sure
It's too much of a risk.
when they were
and for
doing
that
that
reason, I
part, I'm
think he
pretty
just
sure
go
they
down
were
his
already
original path.
separated.
First, regrouping with Nanami and Megumi. I feel like with him weighing the options, he'd definitely go for the latter. If we had him sent back earlier in time, then yeah, he could have just gone to Gojo and helped prevent this entire thing from happening.
Oh, true.
With Gojo having knowledge of the prison realm being used to seal him, or even further back. But the point of this
Oh,
video is
to-
seeing how Yuji would act with his current moveset and his current mindset. Of course, if we sent him back even further, yeah, he could just stop it from
Just
the get-go.
stop it, yeah.
But in my eyes, it's more interesting to go about it this way.
Yeah, like
So
the
if
same.
he starts right where
Mhm.
he actually began, then yeah, he's probably going to go down his original path. Because he knows what actually happened to himself. And instead of going to Gojo, which could be really risky and might not even work, this way he can actually...
And he
guarantee
literally
could save others.
can't pinpoint
And
where
going after
everyone was
Gojo means-
actually at. So if you were to just to go to, like, yeah, similar, the same route, he would be able to, like, just speed run it and get to them earlier.
He'll be facing bigger threats on his own. Maybe if he's
Exactly
lucky,
what I
Gojo
was
will be able
thinking.
to help him, but it'll probably be too late by the time he gets there, and it puts everyone else at risk. When fighting Awasaka with Megumi, he'd know how to counter the inverse ability instantly. They could stay on top of the building to help out Ino, and this would help prevent Toji from being brought out too. Also, this helps even further. The reason Megumi and Yuji separated in the first place is because Megumi had to help Ino. By now, he'd want to make his way to the station. He won't just have to go alone this time.
He
Ino
would
and
go
Megumi
all-
would join him too.
Yeah.
Plus, taking down the veil would be even easier. And with him regrouping with everyone, he could warn about Mahito and Jogo's presence. Which would give Konami,
Exactly.
who's probably going off on his own still. Right now,
Exactly.
things are already better. Ino is in good condition. Toji hasn't
So you would have 3 other people with him: Nanami, Ino, and Megumi.
been unleashed yet. And he won't be unleashed. Yuji has Megumi and Ino on his side right now. Next, he'd
Wait,
head to the
what?
station and
I'm
have to
tripping.
fight Choso, of course.
And-
he definitely would not want to fight Choso here.
He would
especially
probably
given what
talk to
happened in
him.
recent chapters and all the other development with Choso. So that makes this a bit tricky because he has to settle this non-lethal.
I would essentially tell him, like, I feel like if he was upfront with him, he would
He
understand.
could reveal the fact that they're brothers and even utilize blood manipulation to prove it. This would raise a lot of questions.
Yeah, that, but also, he can just straight up say, my father is fucking, or my mother is the man with the stitches on his head.
From Megumi
Or
and
some
Ino
stupid shit
because
like that.
When the hell did he get that?
True.
Yeah, that's another thing. This would be really confusing for everybody else around him.
Yeah.
How does Yuji know so much, and how does he have these new abilities? That could all be explained later, at least.
Yeah.
So, best
Fuck
case
it.
scenario,
Just
this puts Choso on their side immediately, or
Yeah.
the more likely scenario, Choso
They
goes into
fight.
a mental breakdown like normal, realizing
Yeah.
that Yuji is in fact his brother. Now, could he make it in time to help against Dagon? I think
Yes.
so. Megumi could help with
Yes.
the domain like usual, and they'd have the extra
Uh-huh.
firepower from Yuji.
and instead of, and no, not even that. Instead of Toji going in there, Yuji goes in there, and he's just much stronger than Toji at this point.
There's a chance that they might even
So
make
you-
it there before Dagon can pop up
True.
the domain, which would be even better because they could stop him beforehand.
Yeah.
Likely, I don't think there'd be
And not even that. It was just because Nanami, Hedazenin, Maki, who else is there? Hella heads were there. All the motherfuckers are just gonna have more stamina and more, like, they're gonna be able to fight longer. And actually, I feel like if Nanami didn't fight Dagon, it would have. Oh wait, no, I'm tripping. Yeah, if he didn't fight Dagon, he would have enough. They would have enough fucking stamina and all that, like, strength in order to, like, dodge. I would say dodge, but it wouldn't even matter because Yuji's gonna be there. Jogo's attacked.
enough time for that, and by the time they get there, Dagon would awaken and have his own domain.
If he
On the bright
awakens,
side, they don't need to worry about Toji.
Toji, yeah.
Toji would be the
Oh,
main
true.
firepower
Because then
against
after
Dagon,
that,
and I feel like he'd
after
be able to kill him.
Toji, after Jogo, Toji kind of separated
Plus,
a
if
couple
he
of
gets
them.
injured at all by the Shikigami in the domain, he has blood stitching and reverse curse technique to help him heal. Not to mention, he has simple domain.
True.
It's not just his offensive abilities. He has
And
great defense.
he has domain, and he has domain. But this is a month ago. This was before he popped domain. But he has
abilities
domain.
too. other ways to buff himself and help him here. Once more, he confuses everybody,
excuse me?
it's a good thing. After stopping Dagon, he'll have to face Jogo.
Uh-huh.
Also, Shigemo's
But I
right
think
around nearby, so he might actually get involved here too.
no, that fucker didn't pop up until after the fight with what's his name? Actually, yeah, it didn't happen until after Toji.
Not immediately, but he probably would be close enough considering the fact he was around when Megumi was fighting Toji. But at first, it's definitely just going to be Jogo alone.
But yeah, I was gonna say, but the thing is, they're far as shit. He wasn't that close. He was in the area, obviously, but they were kind of far because fucking Toji threw his ass out of the fucking window.
Hopefully everyone's in much better condition, and as I mentioned before,
that's what I was saying.
This version of Yuji is basically overwriting the past Yuji for the sake of this video. Sukuna's part of him, which means he's still a target for Jogo. And I know this whole hypothetical is confusing with Yuji replacing Yuji, and more specifically how that affects Sukuna. But I guess one way to make this work even better is to say Sukuna's part of him but doesn't have all the fingers, which means Jogo would of course target Yuji. And it would be the same case too if we just assumed current Yuji completely overwrote the old Yuji, without Sukuna as part of him, because Jogo wouldn't know that. So either way, if Sukuna's part of Yuji or not here, Jogo would be targeting him regardless of fingers.
Regardless.
And of course, Yuji would know this too. This could be used to his advantage. Jogo wouldn't want to kill Yuji, because killing Yuji kills Sukuna. He also
so he would try to like fight him until he stopped.
Jogo is way too fast and strong for the others to fight, but Yuji could definitely help, and with else there, that really changes.
Oh, they should jump in him. They should jump in him. They should jump in.
Would Yuji be able to defeat Jogo outright?
I think so.
Jogo and the extent of his power after Sukuna's fight with him. We could
not even that, but he also like experienced what he. Actually, no, fucking Gojo was babying him, bruh.
In chapter 120, that Yuji experiences everything Sukuna does while he takes control of Yuji.
Yeah, so he knows everything.
So even though he didn't actually fight Jogo himself, he knows exactly how that fight went because he saw what Sukuna did during that battle. Those memories, so
he knows what to do.
Things are tricky here because Jogo's heat would 100% pose a threat.
Oh hell yeah!
Raw physical power, Yuji's above him.
Honestly,
a supplemental page at one point that said if Jogo took 5 black flashes from Yuji, as well as a playful cloud strike from Todo, he would die instantly.
Oh, done.
Based on a much weaker Yuji.
Yeah.
With Yuji's regular power, he definitely has this fight in the back. But like, even if he pops off 1 black flash,
he's gonna blow his ass up.
Jogo pretty quickly. Jogo's domain is definitely the biggest concern, but again, Yuji has.
Honestly, I'm thinking he tries going solo or with Nanami. Honestly, so he gets those critical attacks.
Although the ambient heat of it still is an issue. But the most important thing here is the fact that Jogo won't just go for the kill, which is great because he won't pop the domain, and that protects everybody else around them too. Of course, Jogo is still strong enough to wash him.
Honestly, if I was Jogo, I'm popping domain, cause I can tell that okay, so this is the thing. If I was Jogo, I would pop domain. Why? Because if he pops domain, that would mean if he does think. Sorry, I'm hitting my mic a bit. If he does think Yuji and Sukuna are still together, he thinks Yuji is weaker, obviously. So he would pop domain, injure everyone around him, but also force Sukuna to come out and fight him. And then he talks to him and he tells him, I know that's stupid, but like, he would tell him he has the rest of the fingers for him. I feel like I would do that if I was Jogo.
I don't think any of that will be a concern. Yuji will be able to stop him before he pops a domain, and that's if he even decides to pop a domain. Things are going really well.
I would pop domain.
A lot of people have been saved too.
Yeah.
Besides Megumi and Ino, Maki's fine, Nabito's fine, and Nanami's fine. They're all going to be in much better condition. They're definitely still injured to an extent. Depending on how the fight with Dagon went, but still much better off.
I think he's getting there before Dagon. No way.
Than they were
before
Most
Dagon.
Importantly, they're in fighting conditions still. Also, after this, Yuji would drop a video to support the channel. Why not join him? Likely, this giant group wouldn't stick together. I'm sure Megumi and Yuji would stick together at least, and they'd probably go to Nobara next as they make their way there. They definitely would run into Shigemo along the way, and luckily, Megumi wouldn't pull out Maharagi here.
That's what I was saying.
Against him. I don't know what the rest of the group would do, but I also feel it's not like them to all work together in a giant group like that. There is a chance
I feel like the rest of them,
together, but
if because Mahito is already just gonna go for what the hell is this? Is already just gonna go for Yuji because that's his main goal. He was just wanting to kill Yuji the entire time. I think the rest of them are safe from encountering Mahito, even if they have the split. I feel like he wouldn't have to, like, he would like know about it, so he would probably like, Toto, pull up. He's like, pull up, and then the rest of them could just take out all the other like cursed spirits that are just roaming around, because there was a fuck ton after the Shibuya arc.
I still feel they would split up here, and Yuji would definitely give them a lot of good info,
Yeah.
at least to the extent of what he knows. Nabara's
Yeah.
encounter with Shigemo still happened, so I don't know if she'd join Megami and Yuji right away, and especially with them making such good time here, she still needs a little bit more extra time to recoup.
You know what? Honestly, fuck that. I'm letting her encounter Mahito. Why? She can still use Renaissance on him. She fucks him up, and he runs away, but they had already, like, they already know what he's gonna try to do. So, and they're obviously gonna be faster than him. So they'll know what's gonna happen and what he's gonna try to do. So if I'm Megumi, I'm putting my fucking demon dogs or whatever I have out, like, kind of like stop Nobara, and then just force Yuji to just like beat the fuck out of the actual
But I think at this point,
Mahito.
the next thing Yuji would do is try to stop
But
Mahito in his
yeah,
tracks. I don't know if he'd have Megami come along with him too, because Megami would
yeah,
definitely be at risk here.
that motherfucker
So,
will crash out demon.
maybe he sticks with Nabara. This
Yeah,
lets Yuji fight
that's what I was
Mahito alone,
thinking.
and this fight would definitely be much simpler for him this time around. Not just in terms of power, but he'd be in such a better mental state too, because he would know
True.
that Nabara wasn't attacked by him, nor was Nami killed by him. Still, Yuji does have all of his memories, and he definitely.
Oh, he would still be fucking like, I'm not gonna let you do that shit ever again, or like think about doing that shit ever
Thankfully,
again.
he's in a much more coherent state of mind, and he's not completely broken.
Oh hell no! What? He's not in a coherent motherfucker. Hellheads just died. He ain't coherent.
Abilities-wise, he's completely aware of how to attack the soul, and he could
Yeah.
100% beat Mahito
Oh.
in this fight alone. He knows how it goes. He
Not
knows
even
what
that.
Mahito's capable of. He's already.
He would force Mahito to go 120% and make him the final form of Mahito instantly. Actually, no, hell no. He wouldn't even get there because he didn't. He won't pop a fucking black flash. He would just fucking stop him.
And he's an even better one here, especially
Yeah.
with all the power he has. But killing Mahito does pose an issue. So right now, there's only two threats left:
Geto
Kenjaku and Araume.
Oh yeah,
Here's where things would really
Araume.
diverge. So we're gonna give a couple hypotheticals.
I'm gonna go ahead and think Yuta is still the same strength. He can still take out this fucker, but it's not there. So I think Yuji can take him on. Oh no, let's see what he said.
One scenario could be Araume goes to fight Yuji alone.
Araume.
Sukuna's never unleashed, and of course, Araume wants to find him.
Araume,
In this scenario, right after fighting Mahito, Yuji would be fighting Araume, potentially
Yeah.
joined by Nabara and Megumi as well. What would the outcome of this fight be? Personally, I think even if it's Yuji alone, he could beat Araume. It's not.
I
gonna be
think
easy
so
by any
too.
means. It will
Hell
definitely-
no, that motherfucker gave up. I'd be like, if she mentions Sukuna, I'd be like, Sukuna is no longer around. She kills herself. GG's.
be
Come
very
on.
Even if Megumi and Nabara are there,
GG's.
it's
Sukuna is dead. Type shit. He's never coming back. So she just kills herself.
still would be.
Easy dub, bruh.
This isn't a normal.
That's an
fight.
easy
Araume
dub.
would not want to kill Yuji here because of Sukuna
Nah.
being part of him. This weird Yuji overriding Yuji scenario is actually pretty important for this aspect, because
It
Sukuna
is.
still being
Ow,
part of him means
fuck.
Araume would hold back. If going
Yeah.
for the kill, Araume would be a much bigger threat. But because of the sole fact that
No, bruh. Hey, Sukuna ain't even there anymore. She has no reason to live. She is killing herself, bruh. Easy
Sukuna
as
is
that.
part of Yuji's still,
GG's.
his chances of winning go up significantly.
No,
And
bruh.
that doesn't even consider
Hell
the fact that
nah.
he's not alone.
Hell
Although he'd definitely
nah.
be the one doing the most.
Hell nah. His chances to win are much higher if Sukuna is just not alive or not a thing anymore. As we've seen.
Work here.
Oh,
Araume wants
shit.
to unleash Sukuna, and killing Yuji wouldn't do that.
True.
Get rid of Sukuna. And this scenario would be great because later on, Kenjaku would appear completely alone. We'll get more into that later. The second scenario is that by the time Kenjaku appears, Araume is with him.
You know what I would do? I call up Yuta, be like, Yuta, meet us up, meet here. Because I would assume someone has some sort of connection to him other than the Gojo. So, I would be like, before this, call up Yuta, get his ass here, fast as fuck. Faster than he
like how it went
even
normally.
did
In this scenario, there's two questions,
at the end of this
and
shit.
that'll decide how the battle goes. 1. Does Kenjaku stay and fight here, or does he go with the plan B? And 2. If
He probably
stays,
his plan
does he
B.
fight alongside Araume, or do they fight separately?
That's
If
tough.
Kenjaku
I ain't
goes
gonna lie. I
knockout
fuck
first
with
or
that.
just leaves,
Um,
again, Araume's cooked. Especially with being
Araume's
outnumbered,
cooked,
I
yeah,
don't see Araume
fuck
doing
no.
much here. Especially
She
with all the
getting
people able
jumped.
to break through the ice, like Yuji and Choso, who's going to be there at this point,
Uh-huh.
as well as Yuki,
At
whose
full
first
power.
technique would be perfect for breaking through ice.
Oh
If
gosh,
Kenjaku's
Yuki.
fighting with Araume, that's
She
gonna
would
be
fuck
really tough,
him.
and I can't see this happening. So to sum up, there's 4 scenarios.
Oh wait, hold on. 1, Yuki and Choso are there, so that means we get the Yuki Choso versus Kenjaku fight even earlier, but with more people. That ultimately means they win. Why? Because they were gonna win if Yuki just fucking healed herself. Honestly, if she healed herself, they're winning.
Araume fights Yuji first, and
Yeah.
everyone encounters Kenjaku later.
Exactly.
Araume and Kenjaku appear together, but they fight separately. 3. Araume and Kenjaku are together and they fight together. And scenario 4, Kenjaku goes off on his own with some sort of plan B, taking the prison realm with him. The first scenario is definitely the best. It would definitely be an issue if Araume and Kenjaku fight together.
Yeah.
Araume isn't weak by any means. Araume is actually
But the
incredibly
thing
strong.
is, she would freeze everything. He would fucking take up too much space if he pops like any of his fucking cursed spirits. Like it would just be in the
But
way.
if Araume is fighting with Kenjaku, then that makes things really bad. Because Araume could be a really powerful support. This is definitely the worst case scenario. An ideal scenario would be Araume's defeated first, whether in scenario 1 or scenario 2, and then everyone has to fight Kenjaku together. By this point, Yuji's probably going to be a bit gassed too. Sure, he'll fight through the pain. but
Fuck
I
no.
think in terms of stamina,
His
he'll
ass
start
is
to feel the effects.
no,
A lot of
no,
this fight is
hell
really
no,
circumstantial
hell
because,
no,
first of all, it depends
hell no. He would definitely not feel exhausted. But he was fighting Sukuna for so long. This happened in an hour. I'd imagine the Sukuna fight happened in exactly the same amount of time, or at least around the same amount of time. Meaning, he fought someone much, much stronger. I understand he ain't running around or doing all this and that, but he fought someone much, much, much stronger at this point. So he would have the durability and the stamina to fight him.
And
Or
second of all,
fight
what types of curses he
everyone
has
who
at his
was
disposal.
much
And third, your perception
weaker
of
than
how this
him.
fight would go. Let me know what you think below. I know at this point of the video would probably be very contentious, but I think power-wise,
I think-
ability-wise, the fact that they outnumber
I think
Kenjaku,
they're
and
killing
the fact that
Kenjaku
Yuji
like
has some sort of
nothing.
foresight about what his abilities are like, thanks to the knowledge he traveled back in time with, there is definitely a chance,
Mhm.
even though it's a really tough battle.
I
Whether or not
personally
it's a
think they're
slim
gonna beat
chance or a big
Kenjaku like
chance, I'll
nothing.
let you guys
Because
decide that.
Yuki and and Choso were already beating the bricks off of Kenjaku no matter what. It didn't matter what was going on. They were beating the fuck out of him. I just think now that they have way more people and someone as strong as Yuji to help them fight him, they're just gonna win. They're just gonna win.
With how many ways that fight could go, frankly, I can't say one way or the other. It could go so many different ways. I feel there would definitely be a fight here, and Kenjaku would of course be the last obstacle. Although scenario
Yeah.
4 is likely too, with Kenjaku going to find some plan B. Like, maybe he just doesn't fight here at all, which means everybody survives.
Hell no, cause he
But that
fought.
also means he leaves with Gojo.
He no,
which
he
may
fought at
actually
the
be a good
end, but
thing,
he ran
because
away.
everyone could try and
Cause
make a plan to fight Kenjaku later on.
Cause,
Instead of
yeah,
having to
that
face him
motherfucker
right now
ran
on the
away.
spot, they could plan ahead. And
But he
most
fought
of the
for a
group
minute.
isn't gonna be doing much of value. But also consider the fact that a lot more people are here than before, including a lot more useful fighters.
Yeah.
Make fun of Megami all you want, he's got some good abilities.
He got-
Lara's solo attacks will be pretty helpful.
Yep.
Nanami's really strong on his own,
Uh-huh.
especially with him being in overtime here.
Yup.
Toto won't have the new version of Boogie Woogie, but he'll have
Overtime.
both arms, so he could still use it perfectly fine here. And he didn't fight Mahito here. He'd be at full health
Exactly,
instead.
he'll be at
So
full
again,
health.
Let me know below what you think.
And with
Of
Boogie
those scenarios,
Woogie
which
at
is
full
likely.
extent.
And I think with scenario 4, there's also the chance that Araume fights regardless and Kenjaku just leaves on his own, so that's a possibility. But there are a lot of variables at this point.
Kenjaku would
especially with
be
how
the
you
type of
wanna consider the
motherfucker to
Kenjaku
just
fight
dip
to go,
out.
because
Honestly,
there
I
are
could see
two
that
ways
fucker
to
to just leave him.
One,
to
if
die.
Mahito is killed before Kenjaku can absorb him, he won't have idle
True,
transfiguration.
that's what I was
which
gonna
also
say.
means
He
can't
don't got
transfigure people
Uzumaki.
into modern-day sorcerers
That's what
like
I
the
was-
Cullen game. So
I was
this
gonna
avoids
say
a
that,
lot
bro.
of headache with that, but it does introduce an interesting issue. Would Angel incarnate? In chapter 136,
That's what I was
Kenjaku
gonna. I was
explains
thinking
how some
like,
people had techniques broken,
it's
and
exactly
some
what I
didn't.
was thinking to myself right now. I was like, if Kenjaku dips out, if he doesn't dip out and he decides to fight and dies, we're not getting calling games. Meaning we don't get Angel, which was a crazy factor in whatever what could have been the Shinjuku arc. But obviously that's not gonna happen anymore if they win at Shibuya. But we won't get Culling Games. We won't get I was gonna say Hakari, but Hakari's still alive. We won't get what's his name? Lightning dude. I forget. I'm blanking on his name. But yeah, we don't get that fool. We don't get fuck, who's the fucker that was fighting Kenjaku in the laughing shit? That fucker. He was cool. We don't get a lot of people. We don't get a lot of fights as well. We don't get all those epic moments. That would be crazy as fuck.
The Angel's Vessel here. Because Kenjaku was essentially the catalyst that made it happen. Hana had already adjusted whatever cursed object would make her be Angel's Vessel, but it sounds like Angel wouldn't have actually incarnated until this moment, which is an issue because how would they free Gojo from the prison? Also, the second thing I want to address, the elephant in the room. What about Sukuna? He's been gone this entire time. Can't he just use Enchain at whatever point he wants to take over Yuji's body? Like, maybe he does it against Jogo to get a hold of the fingers, or he does it in the final battle to take advantage of the chaos. For the latter, that also goes back to the hypothetical about how Kenjaku and Araume act. But before any of that even happens, one thing to keep in mind is the fact that Sukuna can't hurt anyone while he controls Yuji. Sure, he could hurt Yuji, and you might think, oh, why
but he would already know
at this point.
He would already know
that would happen, and if he did try that, it wouldn't really go well for him. Sukuna had explained before that Megumi could have been another cage for him, and without crushing Megumi's spirit, he couldn't guarantee full control. This all happened later on when he saw Sumiki again, or rather Yorizu, and then witnessed the fight between her and Sukuna. But none of that happens here. So trying to take over Megumi would be a really risky move. There's no guarantee he'd have full control. And for that reason, I don't think he would try to take over Megumi here. And taking control of Yuji would also not amount to much unless he helps Araume and Kenjaku kidnap him or something. And that would still be tough with everybody around.
Yeah, right?
The fact that Sukuna couldn't fight back thanks to the vow. Like what I said about Jogo though. This is really the only time I feel Sukuna would even entertain the idea of swapping, just to get a hold of the fingers and to try and further control Yuji. Although, after the minute is up, Yuji would probably just contain him again. So originally in Shibuya, he just awakened on his own after being fed the fingers. But here it would be completely different because he'd be using Enchain, which would mean he just has the minute of control, and he can't hurt anybody else. That's why I didn't touch upon this part until now, because I think there's a really, really big chance that Sukuna just doesn't do anything here. His best option would be to further bide his time. It would be risky to try anything else.
I was about to say, if fucking Sukuna tries to take over, I don't think he's gonna have control over Yuji for like a minute because of how strong Yuji is now. Because the whole reason why he was able to contain Sukuna was because of how strong he was.
Especially because,
but also because
he's to do it again. On top
like,
of that,
born
this agreement with Sukuna. So how do we handle this? When Yuji's sent back in time, does he forget about this again? Of course, this is all up to me and how I handled the hypothetical. Like, if he remembers this, obviously it's not a problem. But even if we assume he forgets this, Yuji would have to fill in the blanks for his new memories. It's not like he would forget Sukuna controlling Megumi. He just wouldn't know how it happened. Even if we assume that in this hypothetical convoluted scenario, Yuji forgets about this vow again, he would remember bits and pieces of it regardless, and might reach the conclusion of how it happened. Or at least, he would get pretty close. At absolute worst, he'd be very wary of Sukuna taking control at any time, if that's possible. So, what now? What's the outcome here? Worst case scenario, Kenjaku leaves with Gojo, and they suffer some losses, mainly in the fight with Kenjaku. Best case scenario, every threat is stopped, and for the most part, everybody makes it out fine, although Gojo is sealed. And they would have to find a way to unseal him without Angel's help, or they'd have to find a way to make Angel incarnate somehow. On the upside,
I think she would incarnate somehow.
And without Sukuna being unleashed, he wouldn't be appointed executioner for Yuji. Everyone's goal at this point would be to free Gojo. So back to the original question. Could Yuji stop the Shibuya incident?
Yes.
Well, kinda. For the most part, he does.
Oh, but if Kenjaku gets away,
how Yuji and Sukuna would be involved here. So
yeah, that's the only like fucky part.
Abilities, knowledge, and mindset, he could save a ton.
He would know like everything,
and likely being stuck like that. I don't think it's completely hopeless. I assume there is some way to free him, or at the very least empower Angel, but that is something to consider.
I think they can get Angel to reincarnate.
And how you did
Loki
that fight too. Does
just if Jogo did have the fingers,
does Kenjaku kill them?
They can find those fingers that he had on him,
all pretty likely,
and force Yuji to eat them.
Widespread death, but not Gojo's sealing.
And then she would reincarnate.
Smaller scale than before. And in terms of his colleagues, many more of them will survive.
But this time he'll have more people to like essentially hold him down, or they can just prepare for that.
On top of that, he might have even stopped the Culling game in the process depending on how this ends.
That's
Stopping
what I was
this whole arc
saying.
could stop a lot of other stuff in the future.
That's what I was
It could also go
saying.
very badly and cause Gojo to be permanently sealed, with Kenjaku maybe finding some way to pull ahead here, depending on his backup plans or how he fights at the end. Towards the end, it definitely gets a lot muddier, given all the different ways these various characters could realistically act here. But for everything before that, and especially for the earlier parts, I'm very confident that Yuji can make the outcome so much better than it was originally. And obviously, if he went back any earlier, he'd be able to verify Mechamaru's info too, and probably stop the event in its entirety, as well as saving Mechamaru too, and preventing Gojo from being sealed. But sending him back to the exact point where I sent him back to is a much more interesting discussion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if he just fucking sends him back